Hey everybody, this is GGB co-host Peppers. We're going to get back at you. I'm sorry this is taking so long, but this is going to be the Bengals-Bucks game. I have only one more day of Game Pass. I'm going to try and get all of the games from last week watched so I can do the games coming up. Yeah. So let's get just right into this thing. Winner of the Bengals-Bucks game. Let's start out with Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen, if you did not know, he was undrafted a while ago now. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. He was a 6th-round pick from Jacksonville in 2016. And I've obviously love what Brandon Allen has done with his career. He's obviously found a little niche in the NFL that has really worked for him as a backup QB. Not everyone in the NFL can be a backup QB, and Brandon Allen has proven to be a very solid one for a couple of years now with Denver, and then he showed it last year when he was with the Bengals. So I list him as a winner here because only 2 QBs played for Cincinnati this week, and it was Brandon Allen and Kyle Shermer. I'll get to Kyle Shermer later. But Brandon Allen went 7 of 10, 77 yards and a pick. But he honestly did show himself to be a very promising, good player, good backup player to have on your team, and he kind of proved himself to me that he is a solid backup quarterback in the NFL, and the Bengals should definitely keep him. Let's go to some winners. I'm gonna go with some winners on the catching side of things because that's what I found the most interesting to me. Was the running side of things. But honestly, Cincinnati had 2 players, Patrick. I'm sorry, I wanted to pronounce that French for some reason. He had 15 carries for 71 yards and a long of 24 on the run. And I also love what Chris Evans did, and went same with the Cincinnati, went 12 carries for 25 yards with a touchdown. So what I really liked about this game for both these players is if you look at Cincinnati's depth chart, right? You have Joe Mixon, he's the obvious number one, and then you could probably assume that Samaje Perine, who is he's a player that has been in the league a long time. Again, since 2017 out of Oklahoma, Samaje Perine has been here. Samaje Perine has been here for a long time in the NFL. He's been a solid player, so we can assume that he's going to be the one. The 2. You normally want to keep at least 3 on your team. So there, Travion Williams right now is listed at the 3 spot, which I just don't believe is right by any means of the imagination. The 6th-round pick out of Texas A&M, I don't believe is all that good. So the real, I don't know. Travion Williams didn't even play, so I didn't even get to see a lot of him. So take my opinion with a grain of salt, but I honestly don't think he's that good. So Chris Evans, if you did not know, Chris Evans is a 6th-round draft pick from this year out of Michigan, and he actually shined in this game. But the player I think was the most surprising, at least in my opinion, was Jack Patrick, an undrafted player from Florida State, first season in the NFL. He looked very solid, honestly. He looked good. So, honestly, I'm excited to see who one of those wins the 3 spot, and maybe they keep a 4th, so who knows. I was going to go with Keyshawn Vaughn here. Now, Keyshawn Vaughn was a player I thought, at the very least, was he was a fringe. In my opinion, he was a fringe. I didn't think he was that good coming out of college, and honestly, last year didn't prove me wrong. I think he proved me right last year. I didn't think he was very good. But honestly, he had a very good game tonight, and honestly, he needs to have all good games in the preseason because right now, you'll have Leonard Fournette, you have Ronald Jones II. Those are 2 very solid running backs. Yeah, sign Giovanni Bernard in free agency, who is a very good option for the number 3. So really, you need to prove, if you're Keyshawn Vaughn, that you are worth having on the roster as a 4th-string running back, which is hard. Not many teams keep 4 running backs, and especially the Buccaneers did not last year. But Keyshawn Vaughn went 11 rushes for 27 yards. Doesn't seem like great statistics, but he did have a touchdown. He also showed himself to be a good player in the passing game, catching 2 passes for 10 yards. So honestly, I liked what Keyshawn Vaughn did in this game. He wasn't absolutely amazing, but I think he did enough to at least start on the path to a roster spot. And then I'm going to go with one more in the receiving game for the Buccaneers. I understand the Buccaneers lost, which is weird that I'm keeping so many Buccaneers winners, but I think it's there's a reason why, in my opinion, and it's Tanner Hudson. Now, Tanner Hudson, if you do not know, he only had 3 catches for 46 yards, but he's in his 3rd season out of Memphis, didn't get drafted when he was playing. So, again, Tanner Hudson, not a name many people know, and honestly, he's not going to make the roster on the Buccaneers. I think that was pretty obvious from the get-go. You already have Rob Gronkowski, already have O.J. Howard, have Cameron Brate. That's one of the 3 strongest tight end cores in the NFL. You just don't have room for a 4th tight end. Sorry, Tanner Hudson. What Tanner Hudson is really hoping to do is play his way onto another team's roster. It's just, that's what he needs to do. He needs to play well so he can make it onto another roster. And if this is any indication, he honestly might do that. He had 3 catches for 46 yards. He looked good. He really did. He looked good in this game. I'm going to put him as a winner in this game because he looked solid. He really, really looked good in this game. That's all I have really for my winners. There's really no other player, in my opinion, that really shined. Now there were Kayvon Frazier. I guess I'll put him. Kayvon Frazier looked good. He actually got a pick in this game. Kayvon Frazier is, if you did not know, a 2016 6th-round pick out of Central Michigan. Was drafted by Dallas originally. Right now he's fighting to make this roster. He does not look to be on it at the moment. He's 3rd-string safety, which, if you do not know, they normally keep around 5, I'd say 5 safeties. That's normally what most teams pick, and if you're looking at that, he could be the 5th safety. Got Von Bell, Jesse Bates III, Ricardo Allen, Brandon Wilson. All of them are ahead of them in the depth chart. So really he's fighting out with Trayvon Henderson for that last spot. But, I mean, right now he needs to play well to make his way onto the roster, and really he played about as well as you could have hoped for him to play to make this roster. So I'll put him as a winner. He really did look pretty solid today. But I'm going to put as a loser today. One of my few losers of the day, I mean, it just absolutely has to be Kyle Shurmur. I mean, right now, Kyle Shurmur, most teams keep 2 quarterbacks. I'm going to be honest about that. Most teams don't keep 3 on their active roster. There's really no point to. I don't know. Most teams don't. The Saints are an exception. The Redskins are an exception. But most teams don't keep 3 quarterbacks. So right now, if you're Kyle Shurmur, you needed to prove that, you're worth having on the roster. You're as a 3rd-string QB. The Bengals did it last year when they had Ryan Finley and Brandon Allen both on their roster, and all 3 of them saw playing time, so they kind of know how important a 3rd-string quarterback is, especially, this team especially because, again, they had both Joe Burrow and Brandon Allen down for a game, so they had to have Ryan Finley step up and play. So they let Ryan Finley walk in free agency, or they had to get rid of him. I don't remember which one happened. But Kyle Shurmur came to the team trying to hope that he's the 3rd-string QB for this team, and if this is any indication, he did not look good. He went 12-19, 108 yards, which might seem like good stats. We also threw a pick. Honestly, there's a huge difference in my mind between Brandon Allen and Kyle Shurmur, even though the stats aren't all that different. And it's, to me, it's the fact that if you watch the game, Brandon Allen looked good. He was making on-point passes. Kyle Shurmur, on the other hand, didn't look good at all. He looked bad. He really looked bad. And then I'll put another loser. It's Ryan Griffin. Let's be honest. Ryan Griffin, at this point in his career, he's had a long career in the NFL. I think we can all give him that. He's 8th season out of Tulane. He's 31 years old. Never been a starting QB. I think that's pretty solid. In my opinion, you did a good job, Ryan Griffin. You've made it very long in the NFL. But right now, Ryan Griffin's goal was he was going to have to fight an uphill battle to make this roster anyways. But you already had Tom Brady. He was a lock on the roster. And then drafted Kyle Trask in the 2nd round. Basically a lock on the roster. Your goal was to beat out Blaine Gabbert for that number 2 role, the second number 2 spot. Unfortunately for you, Blaine Gabbert went 6 of 11, threw for 64 yards. You went 6 of 11, threw 47 yards and 2 interceptions. Not a good day for Ryan Griffin. He needs to have a way better days if he wants to beat Blaine Gabbert after that backup role. Anyways, this is GGB, Coles Pepper saying adios, amigos.